Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm using all brand new products, completely brand new stuff that I've never used before. And this is a look I got and came up with. I have the Natasha Denona palette that's gonna be going on. We got some KKW beauty concealers. We have a new foundation, some new eyeliners, some new lip products. We have new pretty much everything. What went from wanting to play with one new product turned into like, you know what? I have so much new stuff. Let's just put it all together and make a look out of it. So if you guys wanna know how to get this look, then please keep on watching. I'm very excited for today's look. So we're going to be using today the PLouise eyeshadow base with a MAC 242 shadow brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and pack this onto my eyelid. So now I'm going to go in with the Natasha Denona Tropic palette. Woo! Very excited about this. So what I love about this palette the most is that you get a blend of everything in here. You got a few neutral eyeshadows, some peachy shades, a sangria color. You even have a yellow, a green, a mint. You know, you have a little bit of everything, and it's not very often that you see a palette that has all of these in one. So I think that's something that really stood out to me and caught my eye was the color combo in here. And that's something that I love about the Natasha Denona palettes. I know they are very expensive. What I love that she does and what I love about her is that she's so creative and always comes up with these amazing combos of things you would have never thought you could pair with. And that's something that I really admire about her and the artistry behind her and her makeup line. You know, she was a makeup artist before she started a makeup line. So I love that she brings her true artistry into her palette. So we're gonna play with this palette today. So I'm gonna go in first with the shade Pastel Melon, and I'm gonna be applying this as my transition. And I'm focusing this mainly on the outer part of my eye. So this shade is a little different than the normal transition I use. This is more like a cantaloupe kind of shade. Usually the shades I like to use are a lot more like a saddle shade, but this is just a little brighter, which I actually really like it. I feel like if I were to go darker, it would probably alter the way the next shade is going to look. As you can see, I'm not taking it all the way in. Most of the time I do like to go all the way in. But for today's look, I'm just really focusing this color right in this area. So I'm gonna go in next with the shade Tiger Lily and the T58 brush from Makeup Shack. I'm now just gonna go and start tapping it into the crease. And I'm now gonna go in with the Morphe M503 brush, which is a small tapered brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and buff it out. So doing this just really gives me control of exactly where the shadow is going and how far out I'm taking it. Also, something else that's very important to know is the way I'm holding the brush. I'm holding it more like a pencil rather than from the end. Usually I feather it out, but for this look, because we really want to have control of where the color is going, it's best to hold it like a pencil. You can come in, babe. You like it?
Yeah. How's it going?
Blue is so hard to blend. Hard as shit to blend, babe.
It's a really good blend.
Thanks. If Sebastian notices I have a good blend, it's a good day.
Yeah, it's good.
Thanks, babe. And just like if this was any other transition shade, I'm gonna go pretty far in with the color and then just really kind of get into the lid space, just because once we do cut this, I still want that color to show up. I'm now going in with this Real Techniques number 305 brush. This is like, they're really cute limited edition glittery brushes. And I'm just going to, pull my eye a little bit and just kind of dust it. It's gonna create like a little bit more of a green shade. It's just going to do something, you know? I don't know what, but it's doing something, and I did it to this side, so I'll have to do it to this side. I'm gonna go back in with my PLouise eyeshadow base and cut my crease. This is like the most important step to me because it's truly gonna make these next few shades really pop, really stand out, give it that definition as well. I'm gonna go ahead and add this right here. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and tap this to the outer part of the eye. You can go in with the bigger brush. To be honest, it's a little more ideal, but I like just going in with this brush first to really detail it out. I'm gonna grab my MAC 242 brush again and lightly just kind of tap this base out. So this is when I like to now go in with the larger brush. Kind of mimics the finger, so it's like a perfect brush to use for this. And I like to tap it into the crease. So now that we've cut the crease, I'm gonna go back in with the shade Tiger Lily and that same brush again. This is the Makeup Shack T87. I hope you guys are loving that I'm saying my brushes now. I know I have a really bad habit of not. I'm also mentioning them in the description as well. Okay, so I'm picking up that shade. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pack this on the outer part of the eye first. And this just takes away that like very harsh demarcation that the base stopped. It makes everything just really blend in more seamlessly. I'm now going to take in the shade Laguna, which is a matte shade. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Electric Eel from MAC. It's not as dark. It's a little lighter, but very similar tone. And I'm going to go in with the Smith 256 brush. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop this right in the center of the eye. And then a little bit towards the front as well. So I'm now gonna go in with the shade Exotic, which is this beautiful, absolutely beautiful green shade. I wanna do a look on that shade alone, like a winged green. I think that'd be really pretty. And I'm taking in the MAC 228 brush. It's like this very small, I call it like a mini shader. I like these kind of brushes to clean up underneath my brows, around the lip area. Just a very like perfect detailing small brush. And I'm just gonna pack this shade over Laguna. And again, going now back with Laguna and packing it again. So you really just kind of gotta go back and forth. I mean, you don't have to, but my thing is I wasn't doing it on this side and it was like choppy, you know? It was like demarcated, very obvious where it stopped. It wasn't like gradually fading. I use the word line of demarcation. I learned that in beauty school, but it makes sense, you know? It's like, it's got an ombre effect out versus like, you know? So now I'm gonna go in with the shade Minty Frost. I'm gonna be adding that to the inner corner of my eye. So because I really want this eyeshadow to pop, I'm gonna go ahead and add Urban Decay's Heavy Metal Glitter in the shade Distortion. I'm gonna go ahead and add that to this area first and then pop that color on top. I'm gonna grab that shade Mint Frost and then just kind of pack it on top. All right, so here is what it looks like. I'm gonna kind of show you guys different lighting so you can kind of see. I hope it looks blended. I mean, on my end over here, it looks very blended. I know on camera it can tend to look a little different. All right, moving on. So today I'm gonna be using a brand new eyeliner that I just got in the mail, and this is from Essence, and this is the Cushion Liner. I actually been hearing a lot about this brand, but have not tried any of their products. So when I opened this up, initially I was like, what? It's literally a cushion in here. When I used it on this eye, I was shocked at how great it is. It's very black. It's almost like a liquid liner in a cushion formula, which I kind of like because sometimes I'm not a fan of felt tips or certain applicators that eyeliners have. I personally like to use my own brushes. So we're gonna be using this one today. And the brush I like to use is the MAC 209. So shall we get winging? See how jet black that is? I really love it. This is very easy to apply. Such a good color payoff, and I love that I can go over it a few times. I'm gonna take a wipe, just clean off some of the fallout. All right, moving on to lashes and mascara. I am gonna use my Miami lashes today, but for mascara, we're gonna be using another Essence product, and this is their Instant Volume Boost Mascara, Smudge Proof and Intense Black. Ready in 10 seconds. So let's go ahead and use this baby. I'm gonna go ahead and pop my lash on. Nothing new, just gonna get on. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lashes are done. And I'm now gonna go in with the L'Oreal. This is a brand new product. This is the Infallible Glow Lock Illuminating Primer. But this is gonna give you a glow finish. It preps the skin and it smooths, hydrates, and blurs, which is what I like. By the way, I just want to point something out. My earrings, they hang low, and I'm very aware of that. Fun fact, I used to have gauges in high school. If you don't know what gauges are, they're like these big plugs. I was like a screamo emo girl. I don't have pictures. They were on Photo Bucket. I've deleted. I've burned. I do not even know who I was. Like, we don't talk about those days anymore. Anyways, I used to have my ears stretch. So they went down. They were pretty big. They didn't last long though. I lasted like a few months like that. And then I went back to a 00 and then slowly went back. Pretty much what they closed it down to. If you're wondering if this hurts, they do not hurt whatsoever. I could straight up stick this through my ear if I wanted to. I plan on getting surgery on them. If I end up doing the procedure, I will probably vlog it because I'm that girl that wants to just vlog everything now. So if you guys want to see that, let me know. It's gonna be gross, but I'm down. So skin feels good, very, very hydrated. I like that it has like a slight little like tackiness to it, which is great for foundation because it's just gonna grab it. All right, let's get this foundation on because this face, we gotta get this popping. So I'm gonna go in today with the Cover FX PowerPlay foundation. I just got these in the mail. This is said to be a weightless foundation with a matte finish. There are 40 shades in here and they have a great color range. I'm gonna use today the G40, so the G is for golden. And then I am hoping this is my shade. Looks about right. Yeah, I think this will work. This won't go away either. So when I put this on my hand yesterday, it definitely went on very, very matte, which I'm a little afraid because I am on the drier side, so I get scared of things being too matte. But we shall see how this looks on the skin, because the skin is obviously a little bit different. Coverage wise, I believe this is a medium to full. It looked very full yesterday, but I feel like if it's medium, it's definitely going to be like a buildable foundation. As far as coverage, it's there. Definitely there. More full than medium. And it feels really good. It doesn't feel like I have a lot on. So what I'm noticing too is that it's drying down very quickly. I kept the camera very close so you guys can really see how it looks. So for concealer today, I'm sure you guys already know what I'm going to use. That is a brand new KKW Beauty Conceal, Bake, and Brighten. I'm going to be using the whole set that she came out with. So I'm going to use today the shade number 5. I feel like this is a pretty good shade. I personally like my under eye concealer to be a lot brighter. This is very small. Kind of small, right? Let's see how this works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this on exactly how I would use any other concealer. So I'm now gonna go in with my beauty blender and just start kind of pushing it into the skin. I'll go ahead and do this on this side right here. And kind of highlight myself with this. And then right here, I'm just going to use the brush and just kind of buff it out. I'm doing the same steps I do with my normal concealer. I'm not going to change anything up. Looks pretty good so far. I can see a little bit of my freckles coming through. I might have to do like a little bit more. It's definitely in the consistency that I like. I do like a thicker coverage foundation. My only concern with this is the size. I feel like I would go through this so quick. I do like a lot of coverage and felt I kind of had to go back in a few times to get more. All right, so I have all the concealer on. I'm gonna kind of get a little closer to the camera so you guys can see. So I'm now gonna go ahead and do some contouring, and I'm gonna be using the shade number 14, which is also part of the KKW Beauty Concealer. And now I'm going to take in the Smashbox Blurring Foundation Brush, and I'm just going to do the exact same thing I do with my other concealers and lightly just tap the product into my skin. I'm going to grab my beauty blender and I'm just going to lightly kind of tap over, and then with the tip of it, I'm just going to go ahead and go again on top, just kind of clean it up. We'll lighten it. This will kind of just lighten it up too. Ooh, it looks good. It looks really good. So anyway, I'll go and blend down. It ain't a iluvsarahii makeup tutorial if I don't drop a brush. I'm gonna grab a synthetic brush. It's gonna go up and down to really buff these sides out. Shit, that would have been bad. Got the wrong shade. And then with the tip of the beauty blender, I'm just gonna go ahead and buff up. All right, so next for my under eye, we're going to bake and brighten. This is also part of like the step with this. And she has a bunch of the baking and brightening powders. Wait, what do you do first? You conceal, you bake, and you brighten. Okay, so I'm looking at her little picture right here. So we concealed, we're gonna go ahead and bake now. I think that's the color you have to use, number 2. So I feel like I'll be okay. I'm really gravitating towards the first one because I do like my under eyes to be very brightened. I like that very, very bright look. But you know what? I'm gonna go with what my concealer goes with. So I'm gonna dump some on to the lid, and I'm gonna do the exact same thing I do when I bake. I'm gonna use my damp beauty blender. I'm gonna press it into the lid, and I'm just gonna go ahead and bake the exact same way I do. So while we're baking, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my under eyes. I'm gonna go in with the shade Laguna, which is the brighter one, and I'm gonna use this as like the all over shade underneath. I'm now gonna grab this Sigma detailed lip brush. This is the L04. It's like a very, very small like precision brush. I feel like this is like for the eyes, but I guess it's for the lip. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go directly over this and smoke it out. When it comes to round detailing brushes, I really don't like the big fluffy ones. I find them to be a little messy. This one's like perfect for this area. And again, I'm gonna go down lightly, just smoke it out. By smoking it out like that, kind of makes it look like it's fading into like a green type of shade. I now picked up some of the shade Tiger Lily, and I'm going to go as close as I can to my lash line and really smoke that out. I think I showed this in many videos. Like, I like it to be very, very smoky against the lash line. So I'm just going to take this in as close as I can. And I'm now going to be picking up the shade Exotic, which is that emerald green shade. I'm going to be applying that closer to the inner part of the eye. Just taking it right in here and buffing it into Tiger Lily. And I'm now going to grab the shade Mint Frost and tap that over this area. This is another Sigma brush. This is the Precise Lip Line LO6, and I'm just slightly tapping it over. Kind of gives it a nice dimension. I'm going to go in now with the Marc Jacobs Overnight Eyeliner, and I'm going to line my waterline. This is like a very rich navy blue. I was going to go bright, but I mean, we're already pretty bright on the eyes. I kind of want a little bit of a contrast. And this is going to match perfectly to the shade Tiger Lily, which is the closest shade to the lash line. So next I'm going to go in with the KKW Beauty Brightening Powder in the shade number 1. So I should be using number 2, but number 1, it just looks more like my type of brightening powder. So I'm going to take this in with the Shade and Light brush from Kat Von D, and I'm going to use the Ingold side. And I'm just going to go ahead and press this underneath. I'm going to use number 2. Never mind. This is a very, very fine powder. I felt like that one had a little bit of a shimmer in there because I don't know if you guys, look at it. Do you guys see that? Oh, no. Hopefully this will tone it down. Okay, I think we're fine now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just tap this on. So for blush, I'm gonna be using this Sueva Color Spectrum Blush Book. So there are 4 shades in here, 2 being pink, 2 being more on the coral side. I'm gonna go with the coral side today. I feel like this is definitely gonna complement the eye makeup look. And for this, I'm gonna take the Morphe Wi-Fi brush. It looks a little dirty even though I cleaned it off, but it's okay. And I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of pounce this onto the cheeks. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm freaking dying right now. I was opening up my setting spray and just was peeling off the plastic and accidentally inhaled a piece, and it's literally in my throat right now. Oh yeah, I'm about to probably get it out a little later. I'm gonna set my skin with this new CoverGirl Lock It Setting Spray. First of all, I'm really liking this new CoverGirl packaging. It's super chic. So this is an all-day setting mist. Locks makeup in place all day. Microfine mist has a weightless, barely there feel. Oh, it smells incredible too. We're going to be using again today the Babe in Paradise Morphe X Bretman Rock collection. Figured this kind of goes with the eye makeup look, and this is like one of the newer highlighting palettes that I have. So we're going to go in today with the shade Get Laid and my Smith 112 brush. And I'm going to go ahead and sweep this just across the skin. All right, so I went ahead and backed up so you can kind of see how everything looks from afar. And for lips, this is really where you can do pretty much anything. But for me personally, with this kind of eye makeup look, because this is already very bright, I'm gonna be going with more of a subtle shade. So I'm gonna be using Tiptoe from ColourPop, as well as Whirl Lip Liner from MAC. And then this beautiful gloss called Dolly. I thought this was just such a beautiful combo, and it would complement the eye makeup so good. And then last, going in with Just the Colors Gloss in the shade Dolly. I'm gonna set my skin one more time. And then last but not least, I'm just gonna put some oil onto my skin. This is my favorite. This isn't new, but it comes out during the summer. This is the Estée Lauder Bronze Goddess. It's gonna give you a really nice natural finish to the skin, which is why I really like it. All right, guys, so that concludes this makeup tutorial. This was a lot of fun doing a video on all brand new products that I haven't played with. I think it's also very important for me to constantly do that, show you guys new stuff. So a few of the products that really stood out to me and that I know I will be using again for sure are the lip products. Can't go wrong with this shade Tiptoe and Dolly from Dose of Colors. So nice, so neutral, but not just like a basic nude. I think this really just looks great. Another product is this cushion liner from Essence. I know I'm gonna be using this again. I really fell in love with this formula, the way it wears and the way it went on. I just know this is gonna definitely be a favorite of mine. Definitely the Morphe X Bretman Rock Babe in Paradise highlighting palette. There's so many colors to choose from, and I've used this multiple times now, so I know this is definitely gonna be with me for a long time. Another product that I'm really loving, but I'm kind of 50-50 about, to be honest with you guys, is a Natasha Denona Tropic palette. I mean, I absolutely love the way the eyes came out. I love the shadows in here. They're beautiful. The color combo is great, and I love just how different it is. It really makes me step out of the box. I feel like I want to play with this a little more, try different looks with it, just to really give 100% yes or no on this. So my only two concerns with this one is the metallic shades, that whole hardening up on there. Again, I don't know if that's my fault from oil being on the brush or what. I don't know if this happened to anyone else. And then the second thing is that I felt I had to really pack on the colors to show up. I mean, which again, I was kind of like, oh man, I wish I didn't have to add so much. So again, I want to play with this a little more before I can give it like an honest, like, yes, you need it, or no, you don't. As of right now, it's like a little in between, but I do love the way the eyes came out. Another product that I have to say that I did like was the KKW Beauty Concealer in the shade number 5. Now that it has been sitting in my skin, it actually doesn't look dry at all anymore. It looks actually very, very nice. The only thing that I wish was different was the size. I feel like I'm going to finish this in like 3 weeks or less because I do like a fuller coverage. I did have to layer it on a little bit, so this is not going to last me that long. But other than that, I did really like this. As far as the baking and brightening powders, I feel like I can live without them. They're not like a holy grail at the moment. With this one, I didn't like that it had a little bit of like a sheen type of like shimmer to it. I feel like that kind of enhanced some of my pores. Now that everything's been set in, you can't see them anymore. I want to still play around with it a little more, but at the moment it's just kind of like a product to me. Other than that, everything else was good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I want to thank you guys for watching. And with that being said, I will see you guys on the next video. Mwah.